Hey guys, good morning and good evening as well.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, let's discuss about next topic. So firewall. So in the firewall, last class we discussed about firewall security profiles, and also we discussed about NAT and deployment methods. Next topic is firewall monitoring part. So it is when I say firewall monitoring, it's not about L1 or L2 or L3 level operations whenever any security incident is triggered. Firewall will monitor two different types of traffic. One is called as inbound traffic, and second one is called outbound traffic. So you know already what is inbound traffic and outbound traffic. These two combined together, we can call it as net flow data. One second, guys. So this traffic is called as net flow data. So now, so we have another term also there, another word or another terminology also there. What is inbound traffic and what is outbound traffic, or else what is net flow data? So this data, as per the firewall terminology, we can call it as north-south and east-west traffic. So north, south and east, west traffic is nothing but it's a total overall we can call it net flow data only. Either we can say inbound traffic and outbound traffic, or else net flow data, or else north, south and east, west traffic is also called as similar terminology. Okay, couple of vendors they'll call it as a inbound traffic and outbound traffic. Couple of vendors they will say the entire traffic of the organization. Couple of vendors they will say north, south and east, west. It depends on the vendor wise. So let's go and discuss about now firewall policies. So by default, once you are purchasing any firewall, that may be hardware firewall or maybe virtual firewall or maybe software as a service firewall. So by default, one of the firewall policy, it will be available. So similar to like what are we discussed about EDR default policies, vulnerability management default templates, and also proxy default policies. So every tool, basically by default, couple of policies they will provide. So we can go and we can use the by default policy, or maybe we can go and we can use the existing. I mean, we can go and we can use the customized policies also. But firewall by default, what is the policy it will configure? It is called implicitly deny or implicit deny. What is mean by implicit deny? Any traffic is entering into the our firewall side, that may be outgoing traffic or maybe incoming traffic. By default, it has to block. So that is called default policy. This is the default policy. Once you are purchasing any firewall, it will be there in the rule 1. So only one rule will be there by the by. So default rule is called implicitly deny. What is mean implicitly deny here? So any traffic is entering into the firewall, by default it has to block. Now how we can go and we can create our customized policies? So first, what our policies we are configuring, for that one we have to follow one of the approach that's called firewalls rules validation or policies validation. Firewall rules validation. So firewalls rules validation. So meaning what? Once the IP packet is entering into the organization side as a network architecture diagram from inbound or outbound side, so rules validation will follow from top to bottom approach or top down approach. Enter a question, guys. Top to bottom approach or top down approach. What is this top to bottom approach or top down approach? For example, maybe under the firewall we created 20 policies. first it will validate the first rule. Second, it will validate the second rule or policy. Third, it will validate, okay, so third policy or rule. Finally, wherever the logic or condition or algorithm it is meeting, finally, their firewall it will stop the condition part. Firewall it will block, I mean, either firewall it will allow or it may be firewall it will block it. So that is called top to bottom approach. So what is mean by this one? For example, maybe you created a couple of policies like rule number 1, this belongs to email, email sending and email receiving through SMTP server. So rule number 2, this is rule number 1, or policy number, rule or policy both are same. Rule number 1 and rule number 2. Rule number 2 is for RDP port number blocking. So rule number 3, guest access Wi-Fi. So whenever any guests enter into the organization site, that may be customers, that may partners, that may vendors. So those people we can call guests. For those guests, we have to give the access to Wi-Fi. So guest access to Wi-Fi or wireless. So rule number 4, example blocking of social networking websites. So all the social networking websites we have to block. What is mean by now top to bottom approach or top down approach? So for example, maybe one of the guest it has come to deliver his product to us because we want to do POC, proof of concept. In that scenario, now we have to give access to maybe 1 day or 2 days only to him. We have to create a policies for his laptop. So by assigning the by static IP to for his laptop, only we can assign the static IP and we can give the access to him. In that scenario, now once already we provided the access and we created the policies in the firewall side, once he's trying to access the, once he connected to Wi-Fi and after that he's trying to access any of the websites, or maybe he wants to present his presentation whatever he brought as a tool by giving the product presentation or tool presentation, because we are trying to do the POC. Before going to do the POC, we need presentation as well related to tool or product, whatever we're trying to purchase, like a pre-sales kind of thing. So now once the tool he is presenting, then he opened that particular, okay, so PPT, whatever he wants to present it. Then finally, so that packet is entering. Now, once he's trying to open and he's trying to connect it to the PowerPoint presentation through internet, now our firewall, what it will do, so that packet will enter into the firewall side. Firewall, it will validate all these policies now. Where the guest user policy it is located. Guest user policy is rule number 3. So vendor is giving presentation to us, or maybe partner is giving presentation to us. Vendor tool presentation or PPT presentation to tool or product. Now, once he's giving the presentation, now traffic will go to the firewall. Then firewall it will validate all these. How many rules are there now? Total 4 rules are there. So rule number 1, whether it is matching the condition or not, it's for email. It is not matching the condition. Now rule number 2, rule number 2 is for blocking of the port number RDP 3389. So it is not matching the rule number 2 also. Now rule number 3, or policy number 3, this belongs to guest access to Wi-Fi. We are giving access to Wi-Fi to the either vendor or customer or maybe partner. So it is matching here. Now it will stop here. So this is the condition or logical algorithm, whatever we are given or we are created the policy, it is hitting that policy, finally it will stop it here. So now according to the action, whatever we configured in the firewall side, whether we configured allow or block. So we configured allow example. Now finally, so that guest user is able to access allow. So remaining rules, maybe how many rules are there? Maybe only one rule is there. It will not touch that rule also. So this is called top to bottom approach and top down approach. Whenever any condition or logic or algorithm is meeting based on the requirement or based on the packet is entering, there itself it will stop it. Remaining rules validation, it will not do it. Otherwise, it's a time consuming process, and also performance issues will come, bandwidth relations will come, and so on. So that's called top to bottom or top down approach. Couple of policies I will explain. So now, okay, fine. as I said, by default, implicitly deny is a first rule. So implicitly deny in the top rule. So this is the first rule, default rule. Once you're purchasing this one, so this is default rule, implicitly deny. Water traffic is entering into the firewall, it has to block it. Now what we have to do? So now you're keeping this implicitly deny rule in the top. Any packet is entering. So even though remaining rules for whatever we are configured, it will not validate. Even though end user is giving trying to access RDP, or end user is accessing to social networking websites, or maybe end user is accessing to email, receiving the email or sending an email, or maybe partner or business partner, a vendor, or maybe customer, they are trying to access the Wi-Fi. It will not hit these rules also. That is the reason water implicitly deny in the topmost by default rule it is there. First we have to create our customized rules or policies. Later we have to drag this one. Just we have to click here through our mouse and drag this one to completely down. So now implicitly deny, you can go and you can make it like a bottom. So now from the top we have to remove like a drag and drop. That's it. Once you are doing the drag and drop from the top to bottom. So first, these are all the customized rule according to our requirement. These are the customized policies according to our business requirement. Other than what our business requirement related policy we are configuring, in case any attacker or maybe abnormal or malicious user, they are trying to access any traffic, then implicitly it has to deny. So that is the mean by implicitly deny. So these are all the different types of rules validation. Okay, so this is the way how the policies we can configure. Now, as I said in the last class itself, so first we have to create security profiles. After creating these security profiles, we have to put into the policy. Okay, let's go and discuss about practical way now. So FortiGate demo, firewall, FortiGate demo, fire, yeah, whatever. So yeah, this is the one. So demo.fortigate.com or fortigate.vm, there are two different. One is hardware based firewall also there with practical demo, and even virtual VM firewall also there. Whatever you want, you can access it. So this is one of the website, and one more website name is called Fortigate demo dot fortigate.fortidemo.com. I think so. Yeah, these two. So this is the okay. So hardware firewall, and this is the virtual firewall, VM firewall. You can see Fortigate-VM .fortidemo.com. VM means here virtual firewall, and here you can see fortigate.fortidemo. This is a hardware firewall. So naming convention, according to naming convention also, through management console or user console or graphical user interface, we will come to know whether it is a okay, so hardware firewall or maybe it's a virtual firewall. According to our convenience way, so we can go and we can give the name. So according to these two naming conventions, this one we can consider as a hardware firewall. This one we can consider as a virtual firewall. So you can log into anything. So whatever you like. So just you can give advanced and click on continue. And username and password for both the firewalls is demo only. Just you can give demo with the small letters. Just log into the firewall now. Okay, log in read only because it's a read only firewall. Before going to do that, so I want to explain something else. Okay, anyway, I can show it here. Yeah, you can see here. Welcome to FortiGate v7.6.1. So current firewall, whatever they deployed in their organization in the California, I think so. Let's see. 7.6.1 version, V means version. Demo site, it's a demo firewall. Here you will see the Fortinet security fabric in action. So here we can see the Forti security overall as a OS. The Fortinet security fabric shared threat intelligence across FortiGates. So this Forti fabric, it's like a threat intelligence feeds, and it will get the regular updates by R&D team of the Fortinet company. And those threat intelligence feeds they can share with the multiple. So Fortinet related tools, those tools are, first one is FortiGate, second Forti sandboxing, third one is Forti client, it's for VPN. Forti sandbox is for the malware scanning. FortiGate is a firewall. Forti analyzer, it's like a log analysis tool. And third party fabric partners. So third party tools also they are using to protect your entire network. So to the cloud provide security without compromise, without compromising. So this particular Forti fabric, it can provide threat intelligence feeds as a regular update so that we can go and we can update our updates in the FortiGate and even Forti sandboxing, Forti client and Forti analyzer and third party fabric tools also. So these updates also we no need to do manual way, completely automatic way. So we can go and we can schedule that one, maybe midnight at 12 o'clock. Automatically, whenever new updates are releasing by FortiGate company, it's not about only FortiGate, even for other vendors also same concept. So whenever they will release, automatically patch updates happen, not firmware update or OS update or hardware update. I'm discussing about patch updates related to within the tool only. But if you want to upgrade entire OS or firmware or hardware, in that scenario, you have to do the change management request. That is different story. Okay. So now accept here, and it will ask demo username and password. Demo. Otherwise, here also you can type. So now once you are giving here, the port, this port is currently managed by port manager device. So this firewall, port manager, yesterday in the class already I told you last class, port manager. Port manager, it's like a firewall manager. So by, by, by seeing this particular screenshot, we'll come to know that. So this firewall is configured under the port manager. Maybe Fortinet company, they have the multiple tools across the worldwide. So maybe more than one firewall. So to manage all those firewalls for the configuration side, implementation side, administration side, fixing all the problems or policies configuration or security profiles configuration, they are using firewall manager. Under this firewall manager, so directly they are logging to respective where the firewall is located, maybe in the Singapore or USA or maybe India or maybe in the UK. So all those firewalls, they can go and they can do the configuration and also implementation, administration, monitoring and investigation also from the firewall manager itself. So that is the importance of the what is the OT manager. Login read only. Now once you are logged into the firewall, you can see these are all the different types of tabs. Couple of vendors maybe we can see on the right hand side tabs, and couple of vendors we can see in the so vertical way, couple of vendors we can see in the horizontal way. So these are all the tabs are in the vertical way. So like a dashboard, it will provide the overall what's happening, security posture of the organization. We can go and we can create different types of dashboards according to our requirement side. And network, and here it will provide network interface. Yesterday I have shown, not yesterday. So I think 2 days or 3 days back. So network interfaces, I have shown 8 port firewall, 12 port firewall, 20 port firewall. So whatever network interfaces we have to configure, we can configure under this network. And security profile, this is what I'm saying, security profile. First, we have to configure all these security profiles first initially. That's what I said in the theoretical way also. Security profiles are antivirus, URL filtering, app control, web control, network DLP. So SSL, SSH inspection, TLS inspection, voice over IP call, video filter, and so on. Let's go and see here, same thing. So antivirus, web filter, okay, so the video filter, DNS filter, application control, CASP, cloud access circuit breaker, intrusion IPS, file filter, email filter, voice over IP. So ICAP. So next one is web application firewall, DLP, virtual patching, application signature. All these are different types of security profiles. First and foremost, if you want to create a policies, you have to configure these are all the different types of profiles. Once you are configuring these security profiles, then we have to go to the policies tab. So policy tab is missing here. Can you see policy tab here? It is not, it is missing. Actually, under the security and profile, we have one more tab in the name is called policies. Let's go and see another virtual VM firewall, whether it is there or not, policies tab. Here also demo. This virtual firewall and previous one is a hardware firewall. So here you can see now policies and objects tab is existing. So that means this firewall is not functioning fully properly. Hardware device, whatever they deployed. So where they deploy, let's go and see. Dashboard status. Yeah, you can see here now they deployed firewall in the California United States Sunnyvale. So here they deployed a firewall, California State and United States and location city. So this is the place they deployed this virtual firewall. Even hardware firewall also deployed in the same place. Okay. So this is the place under the status. Status we can go and we can see. Now in this system information itself, we can go and you can see. So firewall FortiGate VM demo. It's a demo firewall, virtual firewall. And this one is serial number of the firewall. And firmware version, current version of the OS or firmware of the firewall is 7.4.6. And mode is NAT. What is NAT meaning here? Firewall deployment method. So 2 days back, we discussed about firewall deployment methods. Firewall deployment methods are, so there are 5 deployment methods I told you. So those methods are, yeah, these are all the methods. So NAT mode or root mode or layer 3 mode. Second one, switch mode or layer 2 mode. Transparent or virtual mode, virtual wire mode, high availability mode, spanner mirror method. Now you can go back to our firewall and you can see. So mode, what is mean a mode here? Firewall deployment method. So firewall deployment is NAT, network address translation. What is network address translation? Other names are, it's a layer 3 mode or else root mode or router mode. Why we have to deploy this particular firewall as a NAT or layer 3 or maybe root mode? Because we have to access through internet. Now every customer, they want access through internet. It's a demo tool. Everybody can go and they can use it, because couple of customers, especially banking sector, telecom sector, oil and gas sector, federal government sector, those sectors, they will not accept for POC, proof of concept. Then if they don't have the accept proof of concept, now how we can go and we can test that particular firewall in their environment? It's not possible, because of the very confidential data it is existing in the healthcare and finance and also federal government and also banking sector and so on. Those customers, they are not allowing even testing environment also, because packets it will go and it will store in our testing device. So that is the reason they will not allow couple of customers. In that scenario, what we have to do? Then we have to show, obviously they will expect demo tool. For demo tool, how we can go and we can show to them if they don't accept at least practical deployment in their testing environment? Obviously, we have to go and we have to show some other way. That is the reason what FortiGate company has done. So FortiGate company has done. So they deployed virtual firewall in their California location and they provide that URL link to everyone. Everybody can go and they can access it. So if I want to do POC now, if I don't want to accept that one, now I can go and I can validate what are the different types of parameters and function it is working. I can go and I can validate here and I can see whether it is suitable to my requirement or not according to business. So not only this one, each and every vendor, Palo Alto also they have their own lab environment. But unfortunately, Palo Alto, what they are trying to do, they are not exposing to the public customers. Only partners they will give access. Then partners has to approach to customers. Even partners also they will not show to the customers. They will not give access to the customers because they are mainly confidentiality. Palo Alto, CyberROM also has the demo tool. Even most of the vendors they have their demo tools. So to show to the customer so that they can go and they can play this tool. So then finally, if they like features, whatever firewall do they have, then they can go and they can purchase it. In case POC is not possible in their environment for those scenarios. That is the reason. Now, how I am accessing this firewall? Without internet, can I access this firewall? It's impossible. Without internet, I can't go and I can't access this firewall. So obviously in that scenario, what Fortinet company has to do? Fortinet company has to do this particular firewall deployment as a layer 3 mode or maybe root mode or NAT mode. So that is the reason we are able to access this firewall through internet or public network. In case they configure this mode as a, for suppose, so this mode as a switch mode or virtual wire mode or maybe high availability mode or spanner mirror method, we can't access through internet or public or WAN interface. Okay, that is the drawback. That is the reason last time itself when I said about firewall deployment methods, so almost 99% of the company, not 99, 100% of the companies has to deploy in case they need internet. Their firewall has to deploy through either NAT or root or layer 3 mode. Okay, so that is about layer 3 deployment mode. It's uptime and WAN interface. What is mean WAN interface? It's a NATed IP address. So always I said, so WAN IP is equivalent to internet interface IP address. So our local interface or our LAN interface we can map to our WAN interface, that is called as a NAT, NATing. Private IP is map it to public IP. And here these are all basically FortiGate Cloud. FortiGate Cloud meaning here, so regularly if they want to get the updates, so those updates through threat intelligence feeds, we can go and we can access it. But anyways, let's go and discuss out our main topic. So security profile here. So these security profile first we have to configure. So antivirus is mainly for the scanning of the malware category of the attacks. Web filter is mainly for the which website we have to allow and which website we have to block. Video filter is mainly for cutting down the bandwidth. So because for every end user, we can't go and we can give the entire YouTube access or IBOMA access or maybe any other. So video streaming websites or maybe even audio streaming websites like music related. So in case whenever they will get a leisure time, so they can go and they can watch and they can listen the music or whatever they want. So that is the reason video filter. So which websites we can allow, which websites we can block, and even we can make sure that this much bandwidth only they can allow to them. So they cannot go and they cannot access what are limit or threshold we provided. Maybe in my organization or in our organization we provided 100 MB is the maximum bandwidth utilization or threshold. So end users are able to access only 100 MB files, that may video or audio oriented files. Maybe for defining the policy only 5 MB files, then they can access only up to 5 MB files. So this is the way how our performance related internet can be increased. So DNS filter, which domains we can go and which domains we can block. So same thing, application control, which application category of the domains we can allow and which application category of the overall application we can block. So I given already a couple of examples like news or sports or business or gambling or so racism, so nudity or porn and so on. So all those category of application also we can block. IPS, intrusion prevention system. So we can go and we can create the policy, and whenever any abnormal or malicious traffic is happening via through internet, through network level, so this particular IPS, not only just it will detect, but also it will block it based on the machine learning capability and based on the even our signature based capability. File filter. So we should not allow all the files to our organization side. Couple of dangerous files extensions like .dll file we should not allow. So even .macros we should not allow. Even .rar we should not allow. .7z, .z. So these are the couple of files are very dangerous files. Extension basically. So then which one we have to allow? Maybe .ppt, .exe, .word. So those files we can go and we can allow. So according to our business requirement to reduce the malware infection, which files we can allow and which files we have to block. So that's called file filter. What is ICAP server? ICAP server already we discussed at the time of EDR. I'm not sure how many people are remember or not. So it's a internet control adoption protocol. So what exactly it will do? So couple of servers maybe at the time of the EDR, whatever I discussed, I will recap everything what we discussed. Couple of critical servers. So it is not facing to the internet. Then how we can deploy the antivirus and how we can deploy the EDR? We can deploy so through maybe Python scripting language, maybe directly log into the server. We can install the EDR agent. But if you want to get the regular updates, so we should not expose our critical servers to the internet. That is very, very confidential servers. For example, take database servers, take file servers, maybe take couple of very large payment based. applications are running on, like a PCI-DSS or HIPAA compliances or SOX compliances, those compliance oriented servers, those are very, very critical servers in our organization side. So we cannot expose those servers to the internet. What is meant by cannot expose to the internet here? From that server, we should not access google.com, we should not access to yahoo.com, we should not access to any other websites. First of all, we cannot ping also. So that is called internet facing versus non-internet facing. These servers we should not expose to the public. It's like a non-internet facing servers. Then if you want to deploy the antivirus and EDR, and how, okay, we can go and we can deploy by logging into the server. Then how they will get the regular updates? So in case we use SaaS based tools if we are using, obviously our server should be facing to the internet. Then only we can get the regular updates. So to eliminate the drawback, then ICAP server, it will act as a proxy or intermediate device or a broker. Now, this ICAP server also we have to go and we have to deploy in our trust zone of the our network architecture diagram. Now we have to give the connection to our critical servers, whatever our servers I mentioned, like PCI-DSS server or HIPAA servers, or maybe our database servers, or maybe file servers. Those servers we can give the connection to our ICAP server. ICAP server will communicate it to the our SaaS-based EDR tools like Sophos or CrowdStrike or Semantic or McAfee or TrendMicro and so on. So this is the way how we can eliminate our internal server, critical server can get the regular updates. Now our SaaS based EDR tools, so like whatever tools I mentioned now, it will give the regular update. Those updates, it will come to ICAP server. From ICAP server, we can go and we can push it to our internal server. So that is the ICAP server importance. So next one, data loss prevention. It's a network DLP. We can go and we can create DLP related network. For example, email oriented, or maybe events, downloading something from the websites like a drive-by downloads. All those will fall under the network DLP. SSL, SSH inspection. Whatever applications are deployed and SSL TLS, sorry guys, certificates are running on top of the server. It will scan that server and it will give, is there any certificate related issues are existing, like a private key or public keys, or any other outdated version of the SSL 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, TLS 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. According to that one, it can provide the whether is there any cryptography algorithm issues or asymmetric cryptography or symmetric, or also is there any other attacks are possible. So those attacks may be Poodle attack or hard to bleed attack or OpenSSL attack. All those different types of the attacks can go and can verify using this particular profile. Next one is application signature. This one is regularly they can go and they can update what are the new application category R&D team of the Fortinet company they are developing. So according to that one, they can go and they can update the signature. Right now it is supporting 3829. Maybe so tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow, once again they create a new signature or new application category. We can see another category also here. IPS signature, it's once again, it's like a signature based detection mechanism. You can see right now it is supporting 18,200 and not, sorry, 204. So these many IPS signature by default Fortinet vendor, so far it is identified for malicious or suspicious category related to attacks. Now, out whenever these 18,204 related attacker may be trying to do once again, it will check with these signature whether it is existing in the Fortinet vendor database or not. In case it is existing, it is matching that pattern or matching that signature for all these names. Finally, it will block it. So that is called signature detection mechanism. Okay. Next one is web routing and override. So if you want to redirect that website, like a cross-site request forgery, server-side request forgery category of the attacks, to eliminate that one, to redirect into our legitimate website by stopping of the session management or maybe man in the middle attack category of the attacks, then we can use the web rating override. Web profile override. So this is rating websites, it's a profile. If you want to create similar type of the websites in one profile, we can go and we can create that one also. ICAP server. Whether you are creating one ICAP server or more than one ICAP server, we can go and we can configure here. So now, whenever any malware category of the updates are happening through our internet by our EDR tools or maybe firewall tools, those updates will come to our ICAP server. From ICAP server, it will forward to our backend servers. It is not exposing to the public in such a way our EDR agent is up to date, and even new whether it is a heuristic approach method or signature based detection mechanism or machine learning and artificial intelligence mechanism, according to those are the different types of detection mechanism, it will give the regular updates, and finally based on these different types of the detection mechanism, finally it will go and it will block that particular activity. So using the regular threat intelligence feeds updates, that is the reason we can use the ICAP server. Okay, so now what I want to say or convey to you, so these security profiles first you can configure by default. For example, first I will go and I'll explain to one of the profile whatever it is existing under the security profile related to antivirus. It's a default. You can see here default. So every default profile, nothing but by default, once you're purchasing any vendor, they'll give default profile. So then what is here? Wi-Fi default. Wi-Fi default meaning already, so Fortinet company, they created one of the customized policy. Okay, so now click on this default one. Now how can I go and how can I create a customized one now? Customized one, if I want to create, for that one we need admin access. I don't have the admin access now, I can't create. So basically here right hand side plus symbol add will be there. We have to go and we have to click on the add symbol. Then I can go and I can create. First of all, I have the only demo access, that to read only. That is the reason we are not able to see that option. Okay, now I will explain about only default profile, whatever it is there. Let's go and click on this one. So it's an antivirus. So whenever any malware category of the attacks are traveling via through internet network, then automatically to scan it, it has to block or it has to monitor. So that particular mechanism by default are developed by Fortinet company. As said, you can go and you can edit this one, or maybe you can go and you can create customized one also newly. So whatever you like. So scan files and block viruses. That is the comment, and default is the name of the policy or profile name. Antivirus scan, whether you want to block or monitor. Obviously you have to block whenever any malware category they have attack it's happening. Even if you want, you can change to monitor also, but monitor if you are changing, then maybe your system is going to impact. So that is the reason always we have to make sure that block is a better option. Then feature set is a flow based or proxy based. So always so net flow data, it will come as a flow data IP packets. It's better to keep as a flow based. And so now malware category of the attacks. Once go back to our EDR concept or antivirus concept, whatever we discussed long back. So there are three ways our malware came into the three ways how the malware is going to infect our systems. Those three ways are drive-by downloads. Second one is through peripheral devices like USB or pen drives or memory stick and so on, through phishing email malware attachment. I'm repeating once again: drive-by downloads, phishing email malware attachment. And third one is so USB devices or peripheral devices. Now let's go and see now whether whatever three conditions we discussed, it is matching to this inspection methods or not. HTTP or HTTPS. So meaning what here? Once you are uploading one of the file into the Google Drive or OneDrive or maybe YouTube or maybe Instagram and so on, or maybe you are downloading the files from the IBOMA or YouTube or maybe other websites. So that is called drive-by downloads. So it is matching the first condition. What is the first condition? We said drive-by download. That means through HTTP or HTTPS. That will fall under the first one. Second one, what we discussed, it will come through phishing email malware attachment. So what are the different types of messaging oriented protocols we do have? So one is SMTP, that is one of the protocol. Second one is POP3, Post Office Protocol version 3, and IMAP, Internet Message Access Control Protocol. So these three will fall under the messaging oriented protocol. So this is like malware attachments via through phishing email. So that is three. These are the three protocols. Second condition is meeting. What is third condition? I said peripheral controls or peripheral devices. That may USB or pen drive or memory stick or external hard disk. All those. It's like a peripheral devices. Now, how the data can be copied through FTP or SFTP? So now you can go and you can see FTP, or maybe SFTP or CAFS. This is also one of the copying of the protocol or files. Copying of the files via this protocol. Now, so these three conditions are meeting. Now one is driver downloads, second one is phishing email malware attachment, third one is so through copying of the files via pen drives or memory stick or external hard disk. So now these are all the inspection protocol. It is matching our condition. Whenever these things are happening, it will inspect that files and it will block that activity. So that we are giving block already. Now APT protection options. What is APT protection? APT is like advanced persistent threat. So attacker will use advanced technologies like tactics and techniques and procedures. Then persistent, continuously he will monitor and threat. So once he will identify the vulnerability, so once he will identify the weakness, he will try to exploit that vulnerability. So that overall condition we can call APT, advanced persistent threat. So those protection options, how we can block those APT related attacks. So treat Windows executables. Whenever any file is copying or clicking on the malware attachment or drive-by downloads by the end user, so if it is executable files, .exe files, like macros are included in that files. So treat that one as a treat Windows executables in email attachment is a virus. Treat that file as a virus. Okay. If it is executing that files and macros are downloaded, it is executing, treat that one as a our my virus. That is the first thing. Send a file to 40 sandboxing for inspection. What is 40 sandboxing here? 40 sandboxing is a cloud-based malware sandboxing environment. They have their own environment. So whenever any file is coming through drive-by downloads or copying of the files through pen drives or maybe through phishing email malware attachment, that file will go to 40 sandboxing environment, and 40 sandboxing environment, it will go and it will analyze whatever file is entering via through inbound traffic, or maybe whatever file is going outbound traffic. It will scan that file and it will give the verdict within the 30 seconds or less than 30 seconds whether that file contains any inspection or not, any malware category of the attack or not. So that's called Potty sandbox. This particular uh, licensing name in Palo Alto we can call it wildfire. Wildfire meaning here, so it's one of the malware inspection engine in the Palo Alto company, Palo Alto firewall side, wildfire. So next one is use Potty sandbox databases. So this is for database side. Whenever any file we are configuring or maybe we are copying of the files, those scenarios include mobile malware protection. Even the packet is entering or files are entering, so it can scan all those files and it can copy that, it can scan and it can give the verdict. So I will keep everything is enabled. It's better. So if are okay, send the sandboxing for inspection to sandboxing environment. Scan strategy, post transfer, file types, all supported files. That's better. You can keep that one. Do not submit files matching types, whether you want it this one or not. So you can keep every file. That's fine. So do not submit files matching name pattern. You can keep everything. So now quarantine. So whether you want to quarantine that file or whether you want to block. So if you want to quarantine, just you can keep quarantine. So I want to block if in case that file has infection. Next, finally, virus outbreak prevention. Use FortiGuard outbreak prevention database. So something it is existing and still it is not able to identify. Then use FortiGuard outbreak protection and it can conclude that one is malicious existing, and finally you can block that file. Use external malware a block list. So you can block that particular malware in the block list and keep in the database as well. And finally use EMS threat feeds. EMS threat feed is one of the Fortinet EMS. It's external management system, and it's a regular updates. It will give threat release feeds along with FortiGuard. So that's why we can use this Forti EMS. So now these are all the different types of antivirus profiles we can go and we can configure all 18 category of the attacks whatever we discussed under the malware category and network and cyber attacks long back. So that may be virus or worm or trojan, ransomware, so backdoor or keyloggers, rootkit, ATP attacks, so logic bomb, all those 18 category of the attacks, it can go and it can block using this particular antivirus profile via through networking side. In case in the OS side, under the end user side, then we can use our EDR. Okay. So now this profile, once you configure, just you can save it. That's it. Now, wherever the policy, now antivirus profile, in this similar, all these security profiles you have to configure. After configuring, now what I said, try to understand the business case. Try to understand the business case. It's not like without logical way of thinking, you can't do the firewall configuration, guys. So you should understand what is the business case, what is business requirement, what exactly our business stakeholders they are expecting from us. What is okay, machine learning team they are expecting, or what is the data science team, or Hadoop, or big data, or DevOps, or TechOps, or HR, or legal, or maybe network administrator, storage, backup, application development, product development, testers, and so on. So try to get the requirement from them and gather the websites what they are looking for regularly. And after gathering that one, now you can go, you can configure the security profiles first. After configure security profile first, next you can go and you can create firewall policies. So these are the firewall policy. Here firewall policy meaning a rules. So that's what I said. Firewall policy, it will contain policy ID or rule ID, source IP, destination IP, source user, destination user. So next one is source IP, destination IP. Next one is security profile. You can see here security profile. This is the place you have to enable whatever profile you're configuring. For example, I want whatever we discussed in the previous not previous topic. What is the okay different types of policies we discussed here? So policies we discussed, there are four different types of policies. First one is email. Now, what is the email? Whether through email malware infection is possible or not. Okay. Yes, it is possible through malware attachment. Okay. So second one, what is the second security profile? Go back to our tool. So now, before going to the policy, try to understand the concept. Now, web filter. So through email, web filter is required. Yes, it is required. Why? Because maybe that email contains URL link. Any email contains the URL link in the body of the content of the email. It has to inspect the traffic as well. So web filter also we have to configure. So one is antivirus. For this one, if you want to configure the email, what are the security profiles we have to enable here? So this is the policy for email. Policy name is security profiles. Okay, one is antivirus. It is possible. Web filter. Web filter also it is we have to do website allowing and website blocking. So we have to configure this one also. You can enable that one also in the profile. So antivirus, web filter. Now next what else? Video filter. Video filter is not required. Just you know need to assign this one. DNS filter. DNS filter also not required because we are not doing any domain resolution here. Application control. Yes, it is possible because websites will fall under the category of the website. So this app control we have to enable. So let's go and see about other profiles. Intrusion prevention. Yes, it is possible. So next one, file filter. Yes, file filter we have to allow and we have to block because malwares will come through file. So file filter we have to enable security profile in the email policy. Policy name is email and what are the security profiles we have to include in that profile. Now we are discussing about that topic. Now ICAP, yes, it is required. Because malware prevention tool is ICAP for getting regular updates. So next one is DLP. DLP is not required because we are not preventing the DLP here. Only we are discussing about email. Yeah, email DLP. We have to enable DLP. Sorry, DLP through sending the personal email to professional to personal, and SSL/SH inspection. It's not required. Application signature. So anyway, application signature is part of application control. IPC. These are all additional. This is just you can leave it. These 4, 5. So now these profile we have to enable. So now, once you are creating the email policy, these security profiles we have to keep in our policy. Okay. Now, where to create this rule number 1 now? Go back to our firewall and create here policy. So we don't have the administrator access now. So I have only read-only access. Here basically add symbol will be there. Click on that add symbol, either here view, under view, or maybe on the right hand side. Anywhere two places we have the add symbol. Click on that add symbol and create a policy. Policy rule ID. You can give rule ID. Already two rules are there already. So you can create rule number 3. While policy ID number 3. So policy ID 3. Otherwise automatically policy ID it will come. You no need to keep the rule number also. Then you have to give source. Now we are configuring the policy. So keep this one, policy, source, destination. So this is what. So now policy. So source, what is source here now? Source is email. Any user will receive the email and also send the emails. Source is any, destination is any, because anybody can send the email, anybody can receive the emails. So any, destination is any. Schedule always. So we have to show schedule or scan always. Service. What is service here? Email. Email means SMTP. So SMTP. Action allow. Action is allow because we have to receive the emails and we have to send the emails, because we are email allowing to every employee. That is maybe outbound email or inbound email. Maybe you can ask now, in case that email contains the malware attachment, because already in the profile we are blocking that activity, and maybe in the web filter we are blocking that activity, even though we are allowing the email here, but we are blocking the scanning of the file. Okay. IP pool any, NAT, from where to where this traffic it has to go. So maybe LAN interface 1, WAN interface 1, that one. So otherwise NAT you can give any, type is any. Security profile. In these security profiles, what are now email for? Select antivirus, just drop down list. Select antivirus, web filter, app control, IPS, file filter, ICAP and DLP. And finally, just drop down list, just you can choose all these. And finally logs and so byte and action here allow. Okay, fine. So that's it, guys. This is the way how we can create email policy. So this is the way how we can create for email policy. This is the way first you can identify the request. So this email policy from which team? Obviously SMTP server team. So they'll provide. So we need email access to each and every employee. It's not our requirement. It's email administrator or Outlook admins or SMTP's team requirement. So this one is some other team. Email gateway part of security, that's okay. But SMTP server can be maintained by Outlook admins or maybe some other admins, email server admins. Their requirement is, so allow the emails for sender to receiver, receiver to sender. Okay, that is their requirement. Now, in such a way, you have to go and you have to create policies for all. Now, whenever you are creating the policy, as I said, security profiles you have to enable. If you don't enable security profile, it will be like a dummy piece firewall. It will not work anything. It will not do anything. It will not block anything. It will bypass everything. Okay, that's why security profiles and policies are heart of the firewall. How our heart is very important to human being. So same way. So here heart of the firewall is policies and security profiles. Without policies and without security profile, so firewall will act as a dummy device. It will not block anything. Okay. So that is about how to create a policies. Okay. Now, as I said, once you are configuring all these policies now, finally you can go and you can make implicitly DNA. You can go and you can see now. So now, once the firewall is deployed in California location, this implicitly DNA will be there in the top, rule number 1, but that is not their requirement. So if you are keeping that implicitly DNA in the first one, it will block all the traffic. Now what Fortinet company has done, they created two rules. So this one rule and this one rule. So this for getting the internet and this for the access points. So these two rules they created. Okay. So internet how they created. So all, source is all, destination all, schedule always. So service all, action accept. Internet we have to give to the each and every employee in the California location. IP pool not required. NAT, so NAT enabled. Type standard. Security profile. You can see deep packet inspection and FPX flow control. So they enable these two. Okay. But if I'm case, I can enable remaining services also. And so this one we no need to configure. And second profile they configured for TP. You can go and you can see this policy has the following issues. The no inspection profile does not perform visual inspection. So it should do the selected with other UTM profiles. This for SL inspection, SLTLS inspection, this particular firewall. So now source is any, destination is any or all, schedule is always service all, and action is all, NAT is enabled, security profiles all default fast, default, and you can enable one more also. You can go and you can see enable other also. Default monitor no inspection. So SSL also is enabled. SLTLS certificates it there for app control, web control, and SSL. That is the reason additional 3 also they enabled. You can see total 5 security profiles they enabled. One is all default pass. Second one is default. Otherwise, I'll increase the size. Zoom out. So now first one is all default pass, IPS signature, that is default antivirus. And additionally, they configure application control, web control, SSH inspection, because this configuration is for SSH inspection. So they enable total 5 profiles. So that means whenever you are configuring the policies, you should try to understand which security profiles we have to enable. If you don't think logically, then it will not work out. So that means you should be aware of all the attacks as well. Okay. Now after configuring the profile, now whatever implicitly deny option is there, that one they move to down, bottom. If they are keeping, you can see deny here. If are keeping, they are keeping this particular implicit deny on the top. These two policies will not work. First policy, second policy will not work. That is the reason. First, what you have to do? First, you can create policies for your business requirement in the organization side. Now, by default, what it is implicitly it has come to you. Just you can drag and drop. Right now, I don't have the admin access. That is the reason I cannot drag and drop. Just it's a mouse click, and you can drag to wherever you want. Just one click, or otherwise move top, move bottom. One of the options will be there. Okay. So this is the way how the policies and security profiles we have to configure. It's very, very important, guys. Without these security profiles and policies, as I said, firewall will act as a so dummy piece. It will not block anything. It will not block any attacks. Okay. These two are very, very important. It's like a heart of the firewall. So after that, we can go. We will discuss about our next topic. So two topics, firewall upgrade is pending. Second one is high availability. Third one is VPN. So total 3 topics are pending. Shall we discuss tomorrow? High availability, VPN, and also firewall upgrade. Yeah, we'll discuss tomorrow. And please try to open this one. And as I said, just you can go to Google and just you can give the POTI demo. You can give in the URL, in the Google search engine. Then you can go to portigate.portidemo.com. Then you can give the username as a demo and password also demo. Then you can try to access that firewall and try to play with the tool where the different types of options are available. Okay. So that's all for today. And so tomorrow VPN and also high availability and firewall upgrade. So these 3 are very, very important topics. Without these 3 topics, there is no interview at all. Okay, so these 3 are very, very important. These are all implementation level. Today class, whatever we discussed about implementation only. So in the last class also, whatever we discussed implementation only. Tomorrow class, whatever we are going to discuss also implementation. Once all these things are completed, implementation side, then alerts will come to us as a dashboard side or notification. Then we have to go and we have to work on those alerts. So that's all for today, guys. See you tomorrow. And join the same link. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.
Good night, sir.
Hello. One second. Please try to watch YouTube videos. Those videos are very, very important. So recently, couple of students are attended the interviews. Please try to get those updates as well. There are a lot of confidential data. There are a lot of important data I'm providing. Please make sure that up to date. What are the expectations right now in the market? Okay. So please follow
Okay,
those videos as well. It's very, very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Will do.
Thanks.